Korean action drama My Name is the most badass female-led show I have ever seen. And if you're not familiar, I will tell you what you need to know about it. Did you think I was going to say Rings of Power? Because Galadriel can make enemies explode. But there's an irony in this play. My Name's main character Yo Jin-Woo and Galadriel have a similar journey. Pain and anger are the powerful motivators behind both characters. Revenge is their goal, but they have limitations. Jin-Woo is all alone, and she must learn how to face bigger and stronger men. Galadriel must, fight her way through a society of men that don't believe her that Sauron is coming, or something like that. In summary, the female power of vengeance can deliver memorable stories, but some of these fail memorably. Have you ever been betrayed, hurt, or lied to? Have you lost something or someone due to someone else's bad deeds? And have you done, or are you willing to do something about it? Vengeance typically lives within fictional stories, but whether or not it's fictional, it can warm our hearts with the sweet feeling of self-serving justice. So the emotional attachment to revenge fiction is nearly automatic, regardless of who is the protagonist. But not all main characters look equally capable of dealing justice by hand, which can be a problem because often in fiction, justice comes with violence. If violence is the means to the end, then the story needs to justify the character's motivations and skills. And it's not enough to just say it, we need to see it.
We love that girl.
We need to believe that they are willing and able to do what we see them doing, otherwise we won't like the story. There are two ways to make us believe. First, the performer and the direction makes the action look good. Secondly, the script explains and explores who these characters are. So we've got two shows with the small and skinny main characters, two stories following a reckless protagonist pursuing violent vengeance at all costs and with a singular facial expression. One of these works and the other doesn't. And it's not just because of the action choreographies. What makes them truly different is the training behind and in front of the camera, and the script that aims to answer the question they intend to answer. What does it mean to be a true badass? A Korean show answers like so. You need conviction to reach the most difficult answers. Let me explain the plot. I won't spoiler anything. Do you get it? Well, here it goes. My Name debuted in 2021. It has 8 one-hour episodes and it follows Yo Jin-Woo on a quest to find and murder his father's killer. Her father was, as far as she knows, a top member of a Korean drug cartel and the best friend of their leader Choi Moo-jin. Her father is never at home, but they love each other very much. But because of her status as the daughter of a notorious mobster, she is pushed away by society. Bang! 2 shots on the other side of the door while she's watching through the peephole. In his final act, Dong-hong shields the gate with her body long enough for her daughter to survive a mysterious killer. Alone, angry and scared, she decides to join the criminal organization and work alongside her father's old allies to get justice. Their leader, Choi Moo-jin, seemingly takes her with open arms and tells her, "The police killed your father." In Korean, he doesn't speak English, and this is the murderous gun. In Korea, weapons are heavily regulated, and only police officers and other authorities can use firearms, specifically single-action handguns like this. So she believed him. Jin-Woo needs more than knowledge to quench her thirst, though. Therefore, the drug cartel trains her for years in martial arts and melee weapons. Because she's a woman, Choi Moo-jin teaches her to hit weak spots, like the chin or the temple, to bypass the strength difference against male opponents. After years of training, she infiltrates the anti-narcotics police as a mole on a dangerous journey to discover the culprit. It becomes clear that Choi Moo-jin and Jin-Woo have father-daughter feelings for each other, and as her surrogate father, the mobster passes over a lesson.
사람을 죽이려면 확신이 필요하니까 너 스스로 답을 찾길 바랬다.
You need conviction to reach the most difficult answers and make the hardest choices. You need a strong will to follow through with a dangerous plan, regardless of the consequences, and even if it means setting aside humanity to become a monster. Vengeance is a common and compelling trope to build a no-nonsense badass protagonist, but while it delivers sufficient motivation, it doesn't automatically award the emotional or physical tempo required to follow through. In that regard, there are 2 ways of presenting a tough main character. The character can be an unstoppable pain train with little to no growth. If this is the case, then the action must be absolutely brutal and spectacular, as it's the only way to convey the skills of the character, the tension and the rising obstacles. We assume these characters have already passed through the trial and error that forged their personas, and we may or may not see their past evolution through flashbacks or dialogue. Or the character is not an unstoppable force of nature, because he or she requires requires learning and growing through trial and error. The quest often includes discovering what they need emotionally and physically to get what they want. On these types of characters, we assume they are not ready for the task, therefore pain, suffering and growth are part of the journey. Yo Jin-Woo is the second type of character. We, the audience, get to see her train, suffer, lose, love, win, learn, doubt, find the answers, and ultimately get the conviction to do what she must. It's a journey with a wide gamut of emotions, situations, obstacles, and lessons that allows to grow an emotional attachment with the character. Galadriel is the first type of character.
There's a tempest in me.
She doesn't grow or change because she's already a superheroic action commander, or so we're told, but the action is utterly horrible and her decisions as a commander are evil. We are told everything about her, but we don't even get to learn how she became the commander or see any of her past achievements. Instead, Galadriel, it's freezing cold, I'm about to die. I'm sorry, little Timmy, I'm already 2 steps ahead of you, I can't go back to help you. And the one thing we thought true about her, which is that she wanted to hunt Sauron no matter what, turned out to be a lie. We spent several hours hearing about how she hates Sauron, but she ultimately forgoes retribution for the deceitful power she stumbled upon. Do you know why this happens? Because Galadriel is not a true badass. She doesn't have the conviction to do what she says she wants to do. The Scourge of the Orcs has no emotional or physical journey. She's both imperfect and incapable of change, and she relies on coincidences rather than effort to reach destinations. What a coincidence, a forge. Let's use it for a concept I call forging a character through the story. We can say there are 7 story archetypes, where most stories, at least from people who know what they are doing,
I don't know what I'm doing!
fit. Vengeance fits in perhaps the simplest one, a quest. After the police ditch researching the murder of her father, Jin-Woo received the quest from the only ally she apparently has.
동우이를 죽인 놈은 경찰이야. 놈을 찾아서 죽여.
A quest is a type of journey that follows a hero overcoming obstacles to eventually achieve a goal. Towards the goal, the hero will be put to the test, and they will need to become better than what they already are to pass these trials. These moments will forge their personalities, shape their perspectives, influence their decisions, and alter the circumstances they face. Writer and professional jumper George Martin explains it like so.
Things happen to us along the way that lead us to junctures in our life where we make decisions, and those decisions and the consequences of them color everything that comes after and colors the perception of the people.
Characters have motivations, desires, and flaws. At the same time, they are facing circumstances. The actions they take create consequences, new junctures that determine the rest of the journey and the way they relate to the world, so on and so forth. For example, do you remember Choi Moo-jin? He's the leader of the gang, and he was the best friend of Jin-Woo's father. He took Jin-Woo into the organization when the rest of society was pushing her aside. Because he was her father's friend, she trusted him, even admired him immediately. Every episode in My Name continues a strong chain of causes and consequences. Story archetypes and character journeys are universal writing concepts, and they can create good stories regardless of where or when they come from or who's the main character. In good stories, things don't happen just because. Okay, Galadriel? Oh, hi, Pain. How are we going to get Galadriel back to Middle-earth? I don't know, she swims? Rings of Power showrunners are as amateur as they get, which is why the show and their characters don't work. And as far as amateur writing advice goes, I've got one coming from South Park's Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
And if the words "and then" belong between those beats, you're
I've used this advice before, but I wanted to use it again to explain how everything on the show happens by the will of the writers. In particular, Galadriel's journey is just a succession of "and then this happened" until the end, like a raft in the middle of nowhere boarded by his sworn enemy, a captain taking her straight into the precise clue she needed, a prophecy, convincing an island to go fight an enemy without any intel, a tiny army riding straight to the Tushak village they needed to save, a massive volcano explosion expelling the main characters, not to mention the complex thermodynamics needed to activate it. A clueless elven town, easily trusting a man who healed immediately after riding 6 days half dead. Rings, sure, like the title of the show, at the last hour. And a heroic commander failing to reveal the enemy's identity.
I want you to join me.
Please don't go this way.
You're still holding on!
On top of this nonsense, she's a hypocrite, trying to act tough and moralistic. She's always angry because no one believes her, but when she finds out the truth, she says nothing. She continuously calls for the manager, pushes her allies to peddle, disobeys, abandons her soldiers, lies, and manipulates to get what she wants, which was ultimately and truly just power. The writers put effort in making an irredeemable hero just because, and yet we get accused of being woman haters because we don't like her. But don't let the media or the industry fool you. Tough female heroes and anti-heroes have existed before and they continue to exist. They only need to follow time-tested formulas. And so, my name is the most badass female show I have ever seen. Rather than politics or brand recognition, my name offered me a compelling and thrilling story of vengeance, conviction and truth, plus outstanding acting, directing, editing and music. The highlight of the show is the action though. It feels like Old Boy meets Kill Bill. It's top-tier action by a woman that's generally weaker than her opponents, but relentless and deadly. You tell me, what do you think? Would you see it? Have you seen it? Did you cringe with Rings of Power? See, I've been switching the media I consume as of late, going away from Hollywood IPs towards Korean shows and anime. Over the east of the world, I find a brimming sea of original ideas, variety in stories and genres, care and creativity. That's it, friends. If you enjoy my content, subscribe to my channel, join the conversation and keep the comment section
civilized.